All right.
Is this taboo?
You know what this is.
Did you ever? What color are your underwear? What color are your underwear?
Grass and
Right?
inappropriate. It's your trippy hippie Alicia jumping on the mic from good old Utah.
Fuck. Danielle, I'm starting to feel this shit.
Welcome.
To Hard Talks.
Seduction.
Where the talks are really hard.
I thought this was Flaccid Talks.
This shit sounds deep.
That's tea.
Terrence?
Yeah.
This is Hard Talks.
Hard Talks.
Hard Talks.
Hard Talks.
Hard.
You're listening to Hard Talks with a blonde and a hippie.
Brought to you by Hard Talk Production.
Hey.
Happy day to you, my beautiful Hard Talks fam. I hope wherever you are, wherever you're listening to this, you're having a fucking amazing day. And I hope you know how amazing you are. I'm applauding you. If you're listening to this, you made it to another freaking weekend. So congratulations. It's your trippy hippie Alicia jumping on the mic from good old Utah. And I'm joined this evening with a special co-host. He's back by popular demand, Chris Cruz.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
I was telling Chris after his initial episode dropped, and I was like, Chris, you need to get into advertising because every comment I have received or all the feedback I received on your episode, they're like, God damn, this guy's voice is like satin. It's like sultry.
It feels like red velvet in my eardrums.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Say it slower for the people. No, I'm just
In
kidding.
my eardrums.
So I'm so stoked to have you back. We're just here to shoot the shit, catch up with you. So a big applause for you as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I love that. If you are listening to this or watching this, just remember this is an 18 and up podcast. We do talk all things controversial, difficult, wildly inappropriate, and taboo. I curse like a sailor. I do not want to be responsible for your sweet, innocent little lads and lasses saying fuck or goddamn, okay?
All
Mwah.
over the schoolyard.
Yeah, chef's kiss. Mwah. So what's kind of funny is a lot of people who are from Utah joke around about the fact that it's small lake city, right? It's so small that everybody knows everybody, and if you don't, you're definitely going to run into the same people over and over again. Without fail, every time I go to Walmart, I always see someone from high school, and it's like, God damn it, I just don't want that. So after your episode, I bring Elliot to a new school, and I drop him off in class, and this little boy, Elliot's like, this is my best friend, Zayden. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, oh, he looks familiar. Not even thinking about it. And so then I leave, go back to pick up Elliot, and it clicked because I saw Chris Cruz, and I was just like, homie.
What the hell are you doing here?
I know.
Whose kid you stealing?
I was like, how we always talked about getting the boys together and letting them play? I was like, they already did that.
All day.
All day without even either of us knowing. So it's funny. I love it because every time I go to pick up Elliot now, Zayden runs up and hugs my leg and he's like, my daddy. And I was like, I sure do. Tell him I said hi. The other day, he's like, my mom too. And I was like, yeah, I know both of them. And he's just so freaking cute.
Yeah, your son, he does the same thing. He does the same exact thing. He was like, oh, you're Zayden's dad? You know my mom, you know my dad. I said, yeah, I know you guys. Yeah, me and Zayden, that's my best friend. That's my best friend. I'm like, okay.
We didn't even have to do anything. Mm-hmm. We didn't even have to do any work.
Yep.
Think about...
Excuse me.
You're good. Think about when we met back in fucking Paul Mitchell. How much has changed? And what was that? 6 years ago?
Yeah. It's crazy because...
2016, 17?
The biggest change I've seen in the past, in that time was just in the past year, pretty much. Shit. If I would have been on, if I would have had my head clear and had my shit right, my focus on point, there's no telling where I would have been right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like right now, I'm motivated, I'm driven, and you know there has to be a starting point somewhere. So I just take it day by day. You know, I try to make a commitment to myself where, as long as I'm doing something progressive every day, I'm still working to attaining my goals. You know.
Oh, that's motivating just to hear. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So catch me up. So last time you were on, we talked about your experience and some funny stories within the Army and the Marines. You getting out, your recovery after surgery, your opioid addiction, your recovery from said opioid addiction, and EMDR therapy. So what's been going on with all of that? That's a loaded fucking question, right? But what's been going on just since the last time you've been on? You've been back to any therapy? How's that been?
No, I was keeping up with meetings every week. I was going to, they have what's called a FACE group where you can go to meetings you could bring a family member with you. So usually I would bring my wife so she can get educated on what was going on with me as well.
That's so important.
It is. It's definitely important. You know, it's hard when you have people who are ignorant of addiction, but not of their own fault. They're trying to support you. They just don't know how to support you. Like, these people still love you. They just don't know how to give you the help you need. So a lot of times they'll enable your addiction. You know, that's a way to help you, just to keep you chill. You know, like, oh, I understand you're sick, so here. You know, a lot of family members do this, and it just feeds the addiction, but it just it depends on how far down, like how far into addiction you are. But counseling and therapy is good for everybody and anybody, because anybody can fall into addiction. You never know, And by the way, before I keep going, when she congratulated me on sobriety, it was sobriety from opioids.
Yeah,
So,
as he's smoking right next to me.
I know.
Let's be clear about that.
Smoking some bud.
Because to so many who may watch this or listen to this, there are, varying degrees of, I guess, like, I don't even want to say that. I was going to say there's varying degrees of addiction, but there's a difference, is what I'm trying to say, between drug addiction and drug abuse. You know what I mean? There's people that can go out and, be in their 20s or 30s or party for a weekend, or even like binge for a week and then just stop. But then there's people who struggle with addiction who think about a substance. And in Chris's case, it's a specific one, because the opioid, pandemic, as we all know, is running rampant right now. He struggled with that. It's very important to know the distinction between drug abuse and drug addiction, or addiction in itself, alcoholism. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I feel like so many people will lump themselves into that category.
Shit, with all the diagnoses I have, I should be on 9 different medications, and each one of these medications are highly addictive, and they all jack your body up over long-term use. So marijuana, that's my cure-all for everything. It helps me with my pain. It helps me with my anxiety, my insomnia. It helps me with my depression, and I mean, when I have bad thoughts or whatever, and I'm thinking real negatively, it helps me kind of snap out of that. It helps me with my meditation. I'm able to focus more. I was actually telling my dad the other day, it was funny because I was noticing when I smoked before I went to the gym, I felt like I was more focused on, so if I'm working a certain muscle group, I was more focused on working that muscle group, and I felt more like I was in the zone than anything.
I've heard that from several people.
It's wild.
They'll take a couple hits right before they go into the gym.
And then like 3 days later, I'm on YouTube, and I see a podcast, Joe Rogan podcast, where he's talking about how people who do certain martial arts, they smoke before they do their martial arts. Mixed martial artists do it as well. And he said the same thing. When they're learning their moves, it helps them focus on the certain specific movements, and they're able to go ahead and lock it in and get in there. It's like
you're one with the body.
Now, it's not for everybody.
Absolutely.
Obviously, but the ones that it can help, I mean, shit, isn't it better to go this route than, get on all these pills that are highly addictive that'll just destroy your life. Whenever your prescriptions run out, you got to be out there on the streets looking for people selling you shit.
hustling, yeah.
So, I mean, it's just no good. It's no good at all. The farmers. I mean, I don't know what I can say on here, but I think
you could say anything. It's hard talks for a reason,
all right,
and that's why we have a disclaimer in the beginning, guys. Hello.
Yeah, but there you go.
You're welcome.
It's all a game. Like, it's all a money game with the pharmaceutical companies. You make more money pushing the drugs. They're legal drug dealers. Straight up, they are legal drug dealers, and they're killing people with these medications. So.
Well, and that's why they want a slice of cannabis now that it's becoming legalized, right? Look at Colorado. Look at fucking Colorado, right?
Exactly.
And in Utah, medical marijuana is legal now. They actually deliver. They deliver. I never thought that was. I never thought Utah was gonna see the day. No, I really didn't. But it's just very interesting because it is incredibly taxed. Incredibly.
Yes.
And if you are a low key side hustler still selling, they will make an example out of you now because they're trying to profit off of the legalization, the marijuana. You know what I'm saying? Or the legalized marijuana. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. If there's money to be made, they're all up in it. If there's something that they really, I think they never could control weed. There was no fucking way. They tried to control alcohol and tobacco during Prohibition. That shit did not happen.
No.
People will find a way. They're going to get their shit. That's, if you're going to stress people out to the point, where they're going to mentally break because just, in their daily working life and you don't give them their advice that they need to get through to the next day. Oh yeah, they're going to fucking snap, I know. A lot of people can't handle that mental pressure, and Americans have worked very hard, just to survive, just to be able to make money to pay your rent and pay your utilities, pay your cell phone bill, your car note, just your daycare. Oh my God, daycare is ridiculous.
I can't imagine how much it is for 3 kids.
It's ridiculous.
Especially at the good school we go to. I'm just like, now that Elliot's about to start kindergarten, I'm like, what do I do? Because all the public schools by me are shit. And so, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like how are you expected to survive? And then the property value everywhere just skyrocketed within the past 2-3 years. So since the pandemic.
Do you want to hear something crazy? So I've been in this condo. I bought this condo a year in August. I will share with you guys. I paid $169 for it, which is a pretty damn good deal. Because yes, if I waited even a month later to purchase this place, I could not have bought it. I Zillow estimated my condo, I think like a month ago.
That's just triple in value.
It has gone up by like 250% in property value.
Exactly.
I could flip this house for like 3.25, which is just mind-boggling to me, but it's also terrifying because you go to the grocery store and I get toilet paper, pull-ups, eggs, milk, orange juice, basic needs shit, and I leave spending at least $60. And I don't know. It's scary. I'm curious to see, like, when I post this, like, who has something to say. You know what I mean? Because like it's crazy right now. And let me like make this clear. I've never gotten like, not that we're political here, but somebody watching or listening could be like, oh, they're taking a stance. I am absolutely not. I am absolutely not. I could give 2 shits. I literally bury my head in the sand when it comes to the news because I'm just trying to keep my own life together. I am neither party, but what I'm living and what I'm witnessing sucks. And I love the environment. It's not like it's that. It's just like, why is milk almost as much as a gallon of gas right now?
Money will always be tight.
Think about that. Milk is almost as much as a gallon of gas.
Yep. Gallon of milk, gallon of gas. There you go.
Mind-boggling, Chris Cruz.
It's wild, and it happened. It skyrocketed during the quarantine and pandemic. People immediately wanted to sell, and get out of the big cities and sell their house, like especially California. Oh my God, so many people out there because the California property is high anyway. So
Guess you'll never move back there either.
They have two bedroom, 1 bathroom condo that's selling for $500,000, $600,000, $700,000. They have bigger 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom homes that are selling for 1.7, 2.3 million, like God. Crazy. So when these people sell and they find a growing area like northern Utah, that it's not as big as California, like it's not as developed, it's not as crowded, but everything's spaced out. There's a lot of land. There's a lot of housing developments. There's a lot of land to build. Yeah, they got this money to come over here and just take over and then just buy these properties up. I know. And then they outbid the people that are from here trying to buy homes, Like me, I can't even use my freaking VA loan because the VA loan, they get their own inspectors and they're very strict on their loans pretty much because they're going to back everything up. They'll pay everything, but they'll pretty much only pay whatever the house is worth. So when you got sellers out here that are...
So you still have to make up for the difference.
Yes. So when you got sellers out here that are selling for $100,000 over, and then you got buyers that are looking from Cali or from wherever big city that they just made a couple of mil, looking where they can overbid by $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. So they'll take that. If they want that house, they're going to take it. I heard that.
Oh, I was like, I thought I heard that too. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know what our kids are going to do. And I remember like 2008, I was in like 8th grade. Where were you in 2008?
What's up?
In 2008, I was in 8th grade.
I was in Washington.
Okay.
I was in Fort Lewis. I was stationed in Fort Lewis. I was already in the Army. And we were training, getting ready to deploy to Afghanistan in 2009.
I just remember like, as a kid, the recession. I remember that's all my parents could talk about is the housing market then. And just to like see the spike now. It's just crazy. So much can happen in 12 years, whatever. Like, it's just, I'm no longer 14. That's good. But it was just like, I don't know. So you opened your business in Riverdale and you're already looking to expand because it's been so great. Like,
yes, the business is growing bigger than the location at this point.
What is your end goal with everything? Would you eventually like to have multiple locations?
No, honestly, I would like to just have one location, and after that, I would like to open up a school. Yeah.
Damn, Chris
I would
Cruz.
like to do that. I think that because I thought about opening up multiple locations, I was like, I really don't want to do that. I'd rather open up a school and teach the way we cut hair, teach that to people. Certain things that other schools don't teach. Some of them just teach the basics. Me
and the salon owner I work with, she and I were talking about this. I'm like, they don't teach you shit in school. They really, I mean, the basics really, but like walking away from it all and stepping into a salon, I was terrified. And I didn't know my ass from my head. But also the thing with what we do is like it's a constantly changing industry. So you always have to like self-educate.
Yes.
Like if you're not staying up
yearly, at least
the new trends, like even watching videos, like professional videos from behind the chair is a good one, sometimes. But depending on what they do. But usually, like there's so much knowledge at our fingertips. Like if you're not in with the now, oh my God, I have to tell you about this. So I have a girl come in and she's like, I want a wolf cut. This is like my first week back in the salon. Yes, hold on. And I'm like, I see your face and I'm like, a wolf cut. And she shows me a picture and it is just like that really edgy, short, choppy, layered female mullet. You know what I mean? Straight the fuck up. And this one was an extreme one, like an extreme one. And I'm just shit. All right. But you know what? Like the mullet and perming is so in right now. It is so fucking in right now. It's ridiculous. Like I left Paul Mitchell, I don't know if I'm allowed to say their name either, but Paul Mitchell.
Hey,
and
no, you give him a shout out. Like, hey, Paul Mitchell.
I don't know if they'd be proud of us, but
Hey,
we're
look,
here.
Hey, we're successful.
Hey, cheers.
Right? Hey,
We are using our license, so that's
you go.
better than I would say like 50% of the people that go into hair school.
yep.
Yep. But fuck, what was I saying? Oh, so you know, the perm is back, and I told myself when I left hair school I would never do another perm in my life. I hated them. And I was so slow at them, and eventually we just like caught on to the idea of just never unraveling them. So you just re-soak all the paper ends and curls and be like, here, sign a box, thanks. But now that they're back, I'm like, God damn it, I'm going to have to learn how to do a perm all over again because, you know, when I do my monthly brain dump, like that was one of the first things to go. I was like, I'm never going to do a perm again. And now.
You know who it's big with within my clientele is I would say like maybe juniors, seniors in high school, or people who just graduated.
Okay.
A lot of guys they want to get like a low fade and let their hair grow out on top, but their hair's straight, so they let it grow long enough to get it permed because they want it curly.
That's what I'm talking about. Like the pompadour. The pompadour is back, like to an extreme. And the mullet is back. And I did a Jedi braid for a 12-year-old the other day.
Yeah.
He was like all about it. And like we cleaned him up, but his mom fought him. She's like, we need to cut that thing. And he's like, no, I'm like, I could re-braid it. Because it's all ratty.
You got to convince him. Be like, you know what? If you cut it, that means you're a Jedi now.
He was like 13.
Hey, fuck it. Let him.
There was no
Hey.
fuck off.
What's it? He's 13. He got a Jedi.
He
braid.
got a Jedi.
Well, that's a Padawan braid. So if you cut it, he becomes a Jedi now. You got to let him know, like, yo, you become a Jedi.
It was pretty long. Like it was almost impressive to me. Like his mom was like, "We're cutting that thing. It's disgusting." And he's like, "Oh, wash it better, Mom." And she's like, "You need to take the braid out when you get in the shower and use more than shampoo." Okay, tell me this because I talked about this on a previous episode with someone. Do all men, when they get in the shower, because most men that I know will take shampoo, and it could be my shampoo, and it's literally face, hair, and then ass.
Shampoo?
Shampoo.
No, I don't do that.
A woman could not get away with that. That's exactly what I said because I was just like, how? It is not like a head and shoulders.
Now, it depends now, right? So it depends what the situation is. Like when I was whenever I would deploy, whenever we were in the field, yes.
Absolutely.
A bar of soap all over the body, right? And that was it. But when you get home, you appreciate these comforts and these luxuries. So I have conditioner. I have shampoo.
Conditioner.
I have body wash.
Said that. I have conditioner.
I have a fucking loofah.
Yeah.
Yo, I pamper myself in the shower. I appreciate that shit.
Ew, I know some people that like don't ever throw those loofahs away though. So like I've gotten in some showers and I'm like,
Yo, there's some
this is
scum on there.
grimy. Like I can't.
What's that gray shit? It got
gonna-
hair in it.
Hand scrub. Like, God damn
Yeah,
it.
is that old skin that's soggy?
I don't even want to know. It probably would
It's all
be.
fucking soap scum and
Ew.
shit stuck in there.
Hey, like, okay, so last time you were on, we talked about like how ill prepared they had your basically to go kits, right? You literally had 2 outfits.
Oh, on the first deployment.
Tell me what was in your bag again for your first deployment because it was like hardly
Yo.
nothing. There's a point to this, I promise.
We had 2 sets of uniforms, so 2 tops, 2 bottoms, right? 1 set of coveralls. So that's pretty much only 3 uniforms, right?
Yeah.
So then we had 6 T-shirts, 6 shorts, like we call them skivvies.
Yep.
And then 6 pairs of socks, 2 pairs of boots.
2 pairs of boots, all slow leg. just for your listening pleasure.
And
But
and then we also had cold weather gear and shit that we brought with us too. But
what kind of soap? Did you literally just have a bar of soap?
fuck.
Because
What
no
we had.
shampoo
Yeah,
over there,
no,
right?
it was bars of soap. Yeah, they didn't have body washes and shit back then.
No shampoo?
No shampoo. It was
Okay.
just soap because all that stuff, like we had to pack our bags so tight that if you put any shampoo or any body wash, any of that stuff, that's just gonna explode and get all over your stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So there's no point in it.
Literally scrubbing your head with a bar of soap.
So yep. So we had bars of soap and baby wipes. Stacks and stacks of baby wipes.
Those baby wipe baths. Whew. It's like,
Excuse me.
I could imagine that'd be like a stinky, stinky company.
Oh my God. And we had females in our company as well. We were all funky. Everybody was funky as yo.
At that point, you don't give a shit.
Let me tell you what the shitters were like on our camp. We had no porta potties, right? We had to build.
How to dig holes?
No, yeah, we dug a trench.
Ew.
We built wooden dividers, like almost like cubicles, but they were only from the chest up, right?
Oh, so you
from the
could
chest
see-
down. I mean, the wood, the dividers from the chest down.
So you can see somebody taking a massive shit.
So you have males and females walking up in there, like, "Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing?" You sit down, like, "Okay."
It's almost like the urinal
Guess
dividers.
he's taking a shit. Yeah, guess he's taking a shit.
I always wondered as a female why they didn't make the urinal dividers bigger because, you know, dudes get
Hey.
weird. And like, if I was in a urinal, I'd want to be like, what you carrying? You know what I mean? But I'd get my ass kicked
I
for
will
that.
tell you this. Every female was probably in the safest environment they could have been in. Any female on our camp, they were safe because ain't nobody fucking with them.
I bet
It was too much. It was too stank. It was too, and we knew because as guys, we knew how bad we were, and you know, I'm like, shit. They don't have feminine hygiene products. We have.
oh no.
We have
That's like inhumane.
only what you brought.
Okay.
Only what you brought with you.
Oh. So they could have brought them personally?
Yeah, you could have
Okay.
packed it in. Well, I'm sure that was on the female packing list as well. You know, bring your feminine
imagine.
hygiene products. But
Yeah, absolutely.
how much they had, I don't know. But they couldn't take showers either. You know, and this was for 2.5 months.
Oh my God.
No showers, no laundry,
I'm back there with you right now, Chris. I can smell it.
outdoor shitters,
Oh
and then not only that, these shitters were outside in the back of the camp. And in our camp, we had critters running around that motherfucker. We had
What kind of
snakes,
critters?
scorpions. There were these little dinosaur-looking lizard things that were running around that we found underneath our electrical cables that were
Like
stacked
the ones
up
from
there.
Holes?
No, this shit looked like a tortoise without a shell. It was
Oh,
weird. We ran one over in our one of our Humvees. We were driving.
I don't know why that was funny. That's horrible.
Yo,
But
let me tell you how strong these motherfuckers are because we're riding down the road and we see 3 of them running across the road and they look like fucking prehistoric dinosaurs. It's crazy. Like this. Yeah, I don't know if they're only native to that part of the world or what, but I've never
Let's
seen
hope.
anything like it.
yeah.
They look like tortoises without shells, and these fuckers were fast too. And they're running across the road, and the driver, he seen him. And he said, "I'm gonna hit him." So he sped up. It was I think I told the story about him last time. His name was Hanho. He was a crazy fucker.
Oh, the one that ran around naked?
No, that was Sinkfield.
Oh,
No,
Sinkfield.
Hanho was the one that was we were playing baseball with the sand spider or the camel
Oh,
spider.
yeah.
The camel spider. He's the one that grabbed it with the
Yeah.
with the Gerber.
If you haven't listened to Chris's previous episode, please go back now.
So he sees it and he hits it, and I'm riding in the back of the Humvee, and we don't have a top on the Humvee, so I see him hit it, and I look out the back, and I see this fucker rolling in the dirt. And then he gets up and keeps running. I said, holy shit. Yo, he just got ran over, and he got up and kept going. And I was like, I don't know how dangerous they were. Like, I don't know if they had teeth. I've never seen them up close, but they look like little dinosaurs.
Ugh.
It was weird.
Is that the weirdest thing you saw there?
Animal-wise,
Oh, well, we can go further.
I think so. I think animal-wise, because I've never seen anything like that before. So I think animal-wise, that was probably the weirdest thing I've seen.
Yeah, I don't do well with creepy, crawly things.
Let me tell you about the shitters when you're talking about creepy crawly. So in the trenches, they have dung beetles out there. So
literal dung beetles.
So the toilet
I guess
seat.
that's what they are, huh? Duh, Alicia.
Yep. So the toilet seats, that's all made out of wood as well. So you're in a wooden divider compartment deal. You're sitting down on a wooden bench, and there's a hole cut in the wood, and you're supposed to shit in there.
It's literally just like a plank of wood.
Yo, going out there at nighttime was that shit was terrifying.
I was literally gonna say, is it terrifying?
Yo, people were getting in trouble because people didn't want to run out there in the middle of the night. Like, we were pounding on water. Like, we had pallets all over the place of water everywhere. So that's all everybody's drinking. So people were pissing like crazy, right? So in the middle of the night, you're getting up about 3 times a night to go piss. Now, people didn't want to walk to the shitters because it's dark as shit, and the shitters they were a good distance away from the trailer. So
I can imagine it would stink.
And it's pitch black back there. We had no lights out there or anything. So all you see is where the shitter's at, and there's all this blackness in between you and the shitter, and you got to get there. And you're like, fuck.
I would literally have a poop buddy.
There's snakes out there. Usually you're supposed to take somebody, but come on, you think you're gonna wake up your friend next to you?
Your battle buddy?
Yo, I gotta take a piss, bro. You touch me, it's 3:00 in the morning. You better get the fuck away from me right now. So people were getting in trouble because we all had 1 liter water bottles, but they was empty. So yeah, so fucking piss in it and get rid of it first thing in the morning before anybody gets up, right?
Oh my God.
But people were getting caught with that shit.
Do you ever know anyone over there who got bit by a snake or scorpion or anything? I'm terrified of that shit.
Honestly, I don't.
That's good.
I don't.
That's good news. Because I don't know. So like
none of my people have.
I'm curious because I wanna look it up now, but I can't at the moment. Are all scorpions poisonous?
All scorpions? No.
No. Mm-mm. So some, okay.
From what I remember, those translucent looking joints, like the ones that glow in the dark, they're fucking poisonous. And those are the ones they have all over Afghanistan. Then they have those big black ones and the big red ones. And I don't know if it's true. I mean, you guys can fact check it if you want, but from what I understand, the red ones are poisonous, the black ones are non-poisonous.
Okay.
But I know there's.
I'm just curious because
there's so many different species.
Some people fuck with scorpions. Like I watched the newest Badass. Let me say, first of all, a lot of dick in that. Okay, what the fuck, you guys? Like Jackass 4.
Oh, I haven't seen.
Oh my God!
Yet.
I mean, it's so good, but I just like usually they have the socks over their dicks or like a cover over it.
Oh, they weren't fucking
full
around.
Nude this
they
time.
weren't fucking around.
Full fucking nude. And let me tell you, like, spoiler alert, because I'm sorry, but I didn't know a penis could bend in so many ways. And I also have never seen someone get hit so hard in the testicles without dying.
So check out these kung fu mats, these Shaolin monks. They get blasted in the nuts. Yep. And that's part of their training. But these guys aren't trained for that shit. They just take shots I mean, I don't know if they're calloused or what, but they might be.
I think the most expensive part of filming Jackass 4 was probably insurance for those fuckers.
I'm sure
Dead as fuck because they are all getting so old now. And, I was disappointed because I had a big ass crush on Bam Margera when I was like 15, 16. And now he looks like a blob. But
is that when you have Viva La Bam?
Yeah.
Okay.
That shit was hilarious. It was. And he was a good looking guy. I think it was the tattoos. Okay. But he wasn't on it this time because he evidently is not sober, where Steve-O is like on this new holistic path of life, and kudos to him because he looks great. Steve-O,
because he almost fucking died so many times.
And
not even on the show, but in his personal life.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, oh God, yeah, he struggled with addiction ever since they started. I mean, that's what I was saying to my friend, though, who I saw it with. I was like, I don't know how you could do this shit sober. Like, truly, like, back to the nuts. Like, they got, I can't remember his name, so don't shit on me. But it's like the on record strongest guy ever in UFC, MMA, not UFC, MMA. Literally on record, most like impactful hit. They said it was like equivalent to like getting hit in the nuts or like even the body with like a SUV at going like 50 miles an hour. And then he got hit in the nuts with a hockey puck by one of the world's best hockey players.
Oh, he slap shotted him?
Yeah, the
Oh,
fastest female softball pitcher in the world. And then they ended it with a pogo stick. No, yeah, it was one of the, a pogo stick. That's what they're called, right? You know what I'm talking about? Okay. If you're watching that, you're welcome. Yeah. But, yeah, literally. And they were all testing this cup. And, oh, God, like, it was every single time the same dude. And I was like, they couldn't have at least, like, taken turns. Like, that guy obviously either has kids and hasn't raised them or doesn't want kids at all because I don't know how that's possible.
Honestly, me either. Like I was telling you about those Shaolin monks, and these guys, they have other Shaolin monks standing in front of them, and they do this in sessions where the dude in front of them is just kicking him, blah, blah, with all his might and just blasting him repeatedly, and they stand there and they're like, and it's like a form of meditation that they take where they don't feel the pain. But I understand, okay, you don't feel the pain. But what is happening to your fucking testicles?
Literally.
Is this shit mush now? Like, you just have a scrotum full of fucking jelly, or what's going on?
And, you know, like, fuck watching the movie. I'm almost more curious to see, like, everyone's medical records. Like, the impact filming that shit had on their bodies.
I'm sure these guys have hardware from, you know, all years of doing this shit all over their bodies. Because even, I remember, shit, when I was my late teens, they had CKY. They had Can't Kill Yourself. And that's where it started from. That, and then it escalated to Jackass, and then they started doing the Bam Margera, Viva La Bam, and they had the Nitro Boy,
Nitro Circus,
and what was it? There
were a lot.
It was Steve-O and was it Nature Boys?
I think it was.
Where they had an animal show where these fools fuck with alligators.
It was like it was like a parody of Naked and Afraid or whatever, that survival show.
No, it wasn't a survival show, but they would do these stunts with animals. Like, but it was like a learning show. Like they swam with the sharks.
A learning show.
Yeah,
air quotes.
Yeah, I mean it was. They taught you some shit, but at the same time, like the main dude that would be there teaching the lessons about the animal that's there, and then you have the jackasses. They jump in there and start, and he's like, I wouldn't, you know, the instructor would be like, I wouldn't do that. You know, he'd be watching them fuck with sharks, and he's like, yeah, he probably shouldn't fuck with the shark because they're about to swarm him. He might want to get out of there.
I mean, like,
I think was it Wild Boys?
It was Wild Boys. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep. I remember, like, because back in the day, they had, like, that Cribs show where they would go into all the, like, big celebrities' houses. You know what I mean? They'd take you on a tour or whatever.
Yo, MTV Cribs?
Yeah. And they were doing, like, a Jackass episode. So they literally, like, go around to Johnny Knoxville. Bam was pimping at that time. So he's like, yeah, I'll show you my house. But do you remember how big of a dick he was to his parents? Like, he'd literally go up to his uncle and shit and, like, slap him across the face. Yeah. Anyways, that's a tangent. But then they get to Steve-O's house. And he was like, he had a roommate with one of the guys. I can't remember if it was Ryan Dunn or not. He lived in an apartment. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
Yes.
I think I remember
and the camera crew walks in, and there's literally just like a fucking wall, a tower built of beer cans, like, and they were like all
I'm gonna be a
super glued
bachelor
together.
forever.
Yes. And so they're walking around. They didn't even bother cleaning up. It's just a shithole. And she's like, "Wow, I see that you did really well with your earnings." And he's like, "Yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way."
But it's mine.
It's mine.
It's fucking mine.
I think they were even skateboarding around, like, and like, watch this, run into the beer can wall. But you know, like, it's just kind of wild because the human body is just fucking insane. And what people will do for money these days.
Yeah. I mean, they've been doing that shit for money for years. I mean, they found their niche, man, because these guys are all pretty much stuntmen. They all do crazy shit. So fuck it, might as well make money.
Up. Do you think like most stuntmen on like big movie productions get fucked up like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But they have tried to avoid it at least.
Yeah.
They're not purposely trying to get fucked up. They at least try to study, like a stuntman throwing himself down the stairs, right?
Yeah.
He's practiced that shit so much that he knows how to roll and take every hit down those stairs without permanently fucking himself up. You know what I mean? Same thing, like they have stuntmen like that are riding on top of moving cars. They don't want to fall off that motherfucker, but I'm sure a lot of them do.
That's why Tom Cruise flexes so hard. Yeah, I'm a short man, but I do my own stunts. Ooh. No, so let me ask you this, because I'm sure there were a lot of moments during your many deployments of being really fucking bored.
Yes.
What would you do to pass the time sometimes? Would you guys do some stupid shit every now and again?
It depended where we were, but most of the time we would play spades. We had spades tournaments. Yeah, spades. Like if we were on lockdown somewhere and we couldn't move, or we were waiting to go ahead and make a move, but it was going to be like 6 freaking hours before we made this move. Spades. Yo, everybody, that was part of your packing list. Everybody had to have a deck of cards on them, because even on convoys.
Fuck the tampons, ladies. Bring a deck.
Hey, you need something to pass the time, because you never know what's going to happen. Like even moving on convoys, we'll be moving on convoys that are about 6-7 hours and 8 hours in length, right? But somebody will have a blown out tire, and then the whole convoy has to stop, and we'll have to provide security. But they have certain vehicles that are designated for that. Excuse me.
Cheers.
There's certain vehicles that are designated for providing security. So if you're on like a water truck or a supply truck or whatever, you're kind of just sitting there, you and the person that's in the passenger seat and whoever the passengers are in the back, you're kind of just chilling. Break out the cards. Let's get a space game going. Because you might be there for 3, 4 hours, 5 hours. So this 7-8 hour movement just turned into 12, 13, 14, 15 hours. And it happens a lot. Nothing ever goes to, I mean, some things do, but most things don't go according to plan. You can have the most perfect plan laid out. This is how it's going to go. And then a fucking tire blows, or an ambush happens, or fucking IED goes off. Something happens. You take harassment fire. You take pop shots. Like, no, people even have fucking heart attacks on fucking convoys. Like, it's crazy. Somebody
I probably
can
would
die.
be that person. That's all. Yeah. I mean, you're literally walking into the unknown.
Mm-hmm. In Afghanistan, one of the biggest things out there in northern Afghanistan was landmines. Mm-hmm. You step on a fucking landmine. You know, somebody in your unit steps on a landmine. Everybody got to stop. Take security. Another thing, you're on dismounted patrol going through a village. You may not encounter any aggression at all, but you may walk up on a tunnel that's covered, which we did. You know, we seen a tunnel that it looked like there was metal coming out of it, like pieces of metal, and it was covered, like it had leaves and trees and shit over it. So we kind of moved it and shifted it aside, and it was an actual like a culvert, but it was big enough for a human being to get inside if they were bent over. You couldn't fully stand up in there. We had to shut down the whole patrol and cordon the whole area off pull security. We had this, what was it called? It was like a remote control. It was a robot. It had an arm on it and it had a camera on it. We could watch it, push it in. And we found a weapons cache. So we found explosives in there. We found AK-47s in there. We found a whole bunch of shit in there. So now we got to stay there and wait for EOD to come out there, which is another 2 to 3 hours because they got to all get up and get ready and get spun up. And then they got to drive out to meet us, whichever the closest camp is to us. And then once they get there and establish, we do a turnover, then we can continue mission. Like, it's fucking crazy. Like
it's a lot of waiting, it sounds like.
Yes, it's a lot. Yeah, you definitely got to have something to kind of pass the time for sure.
I bet that you would have no choice but to get to know the guy sitting next to you.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And there's a lot of weirdos out there. There's a lot of them, and you meet a lot of them in the military for sure.
Yeah, why do you say that?
We had this guy, this is on the deployment to Iraq. I got pulled for this detail where we were providing security for this water point. And it was me and it was 3 other Marines that got pulled from different units that none of us knew each other. But we became very, very close friends. We were stuck out there for 2.5 weeks. So our units actually fucking forgot about us. And they left us. And this was actually the second firefight that I've ever gotten into. But this one was fucking scary. Like, this was really scary because it was only 4 of us. So we get dropped off, we get told what our purpose and our mission is to fucking be out there. We're providing security for this water point, right? It's along this canal that was a canal that branched off the Euphrates River. Mm-hmm. This canal was probably about maybe 75 yards in width, right? And was not too deep, probably about 6 feet deep, right? 7 feet deep. Deep enough where a little kid can swim over with one arm and hold money up.
Oh, shit.
And swim back the other side with one arm. Or hold a bottle of liquor, because that's what they were selling to us. Anyway, so we get dropped off. We're providing security for this water point because all the water trucks that come out there to refuel, they keep taking harassment fire, right? So they need to set a security detail out there. Where we're at is we're just outside of an army compound, like an army FOB, a forward operating base, right? Not too far from the fence line, but far as fuck from the entrance, right? So we're out there alone, and we're Marines, right? So we're out there supporting the Army at this point. We're out there. We have a radio. We each have our rifles. One of our rifles has a M203 grenade launcher on it. Another rifleman has a squad automatic weapon, a saw. It's a saw. It's a machine gun. So,
sorry.
But
I'm just a very visual person, and you're such a good storyteller that I'm like, okay, I'm here with it. Continue with the machine gun.
I'm bringing you into my memory right now.
I'm here. Right? We're all here.
So he has a 500 round drum, and then we each have 6 magazines fully loaded, right? Maxed out, and then the grenade launcher. We only have 3 rounds for the grenade launcher, and one of them is an illumination round. And the other 2 are frag rounds, right? Explosive rounds. Okay. The illumination round, what it does is it pops off in the sky, it lights up, and then it has a parachute that it lets it drift down real slow, so it lights up the whole fucking area.
Like a beacon.
Yeah. Okay. It doesn't pulse or anything. Oh, okay. It's to light up the area so you can see what's out there.
Gotcha.
So this is what we have. We were told we were going to be out here for 4 to 5 days max, right?
Uh-oh.
As soon as we get dropped off, it's me. I was a young PFC at the time, E2, right? Private first class.
Okay.
Private first class, E2. There was a Lance Corporal Rodriguez, right? That was my buddy that I told you he died in the accident.
Okay. Yeah.
When we got back, there was a Corporal Smith. He was the senior one there. He was the only NCO. He's the E4. And then there was this dude where I cannot remember for the life of me what the fuck his last name was. I know he was a PFC, but I remember him as Man-Eater.
Man-Eater.
Man-Eater. We started calling him Man-Eater.
He's a man-eater.
And the reason he got that name was because this was probably about the 5th night we were there. And nobody radioed us and told us like nobody was going to come replace us or anything. No.
I have a question.
What's up?
Is Man-Eater the weirdo you were referring
Yes.
to? Can I make an educated guess?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
100%.
Okay.
100%, right? So there's one night we're sitting in the back. We have a Humvee parked out there with us, right?
Uh-huh.
We also dug two. There's a berm that's out there. Like a berm is like a dirt wall.
Yeah.
On the top of it's pretty big, right? On the top of this dirt wall, we dug 2 fighting holes in each corner. So 2 Marines in each one.
Okay.
Right? And then we also had the radio, one radio in the fighting hole with us and a radio in the Humvee, right? And the Humvee behind the wall, the dirt wall, the berm, we also had our food and our water, right? Mm-hmm. And our deck of cards. So we're out there. We have all our guns. We're in the fighting hole. We come out and we kind of sit behind the fighting hole as we're also pulling security. And we're kind of telling, we're kind of telling stories to each other, right? Mm-hmm. And Man-Eater.
Watch him be the one to give himself his own nickname.
We were talking about weird shit. And I don't know what the hell came up, but it was like, what's the weirdest shit you ever ate, right? Oh, and earlier that day, there was a kid across the canal who had a bottle of liquor. Uh-huh. And we gave him $1 for it. So he swam across that canal.
What kind of liquor was this? $1?
It was like some Afghan rum or some shit like that.
Okay.
So it was his dad's stash. I knew. I was like, because he came back like 3 hours later with a second bottle. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, keep bringing all your dad's liquor. So we got singles, bro. Yo, we even traded. We traded an MRE. You know what an MRE is? It's the meal ready to eat. It's these bagged meals that the military eats, right?
Like dehydrated foods or whatnot.
They're not dehydrated. Okay. They come in these packets, and then there's a green sleeve that has this pad in there that's when you pour water in there, there's like a chemical reaction and it heats up.
And it automatically,
Yeah, so you take your food that's still sealed in the packet and you put
that's
it in the
convenient.
sleeve. Yeah, so you can heat up your food, but that shit takes too much. That's luxury. We never had time.
No microwaves.
We never had time to heat up our food. We eat that shit cold. Do you have
electricity in this scenario? Okay.
No electricity.
Okay.
Oh, and we also had 1 pair of night vision goggles between the 4 of us.
That is terrifying.
Just 1 pair.
What?
So the way we worked it out, we would do 2 on, 2 off because we needed to pull 24 hours security, right? So 2 of us will always be on, 2 of us will always be off. But this night, everybody was wired for some reason where everybody was drinking. We're kind of chilling, right?
Everyone's loosey-goosey.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So we're talking with Man-Eater.
God damn it, Man-Eater.
And I don't know why the conversation came up, but it was what was the weirdest? Oh, what's the weirdest?
You ate?
No, what's the weirdest thing you would eat?
Oh, okay.
And then, he said, he came out. He said, I've always wanted to try human flesh.
Literal Man-Eater.
And we all stopped and looked at him, and I had my K-bar in my hand, so. I had my K-bar in my hand. I'm like, this motherfucking weirdo. Like, what's he talking about? Fucking eating people. And he just had this weird look as well. You know, he just looked like a weird fucking person. Like
he was looking at you like you were a snack.
Yeah, he looked like he would eat somebody. Like so. And when he said
what does this dude look like? Describe it to me.
All right, so while we were out there, we all had pretty much our heads shaved, so we all had like a number 1 all around. So he was pretty much bald head.
Okay.
But he had fucking glasses. Have you ever seen? Of
course he did.
Have you ever seen? Have you ever seen Ghostbusters?
Yeah, of course.
The original Ghostbusters.
Yeah, of course.
Do you remember Egon?
Yes.
Okay, imagine Egon shaved with a number 1, with the glasses and everything. This is what he looked like.
A tall, lanky motherfucker.
He wasn't really lanky. He was a little bit bigger.
Oh.
He wasn't heavy. He wasn't fat. He was just a little bit more big. He was just built bigger. But yeah.
I would sleep with one eye open with man-eater.
But this dude had a look in his eyes where I did not doubt that this fool would fucking eat somebody. I was like, I think he would fry them up and make it some kind of gourmet shit and put a fucking a garnish on the side of a slab of fucking.
Watch out, you guys.
Fried butt cheeks.
You know his whole name. You don't say it on the show, but like just for your own personal knowledge, because watch him like be the next big serial killer on the news, and you'd be like, "Yo,
I do not remember his name.
fucking called it." You ever wonder? Because I'm sure there are so many people that you've come across. Like, how long were you with Maneater?
2.5 weeks, and then I never seen him again.
Okay. So, but it's like, that's what I mean. Like, you're constantly coming in contact with new people.
And I will always remember that. That will always be a memory that will stick with me forever.
But do you ever wonder where, like, those cats ended up? Man-eater maybe eating man.
I don't know. I could see him being a family man and then killing people on the side. Like, in the middle of the night. Like
he's the postman now. You know, literally, like, just a regular Joe. That's probably his name. No, it's probably Joel. Like, no, Joel Krinkinski or something, like Polish or something. Like, I don't know. That's what I think Egon was. I don't actually probably so far off from that.
He was a white guy. I mean, I remember he had glasses.
That's who I built up from your story in my mind. Now he might be a serial
pretty dead
killer.
on.
Yeah.
No, he looked like a serial killer for sure.
Joel the postman. Watch the fuck out. No, dude, that's crazy. So you've been out now for how long?
2015.
Do you ever miss it?
I do. I actually do. I miss it a lot.
What do you miss about it?
I miss being able to have memories like these stories and shit that I'm telling. I miss the camaraderie. I miss the certain people you interact with.
Brotherhood.
The brotherhood, the camaraderie, all of that. I miss my job, the job that I had while I was in the Army, being a photo observer. Like, I definitely miss doing that. I love doing that job. But yeah, there's just so many memories that were created in doing that, and you get into these situations where none of your family, none of your friends back home will ever experience or know what you're talking about. When you tell these stories, all you can do is try to get them to visually.
You do a good job.
But then you have the people that were actually there with you, that were side by side with you, that know, and they're like, we remember that shit. I wanted to try to get my buddy on FaceTime. I don't know if we could possibly do it, but he's a funny one. I hit him up earlier. I texted him, I was like, yo, do you have time? Like, later on, I want to see if I can get you on FaceTime so you can talk some shit.
Hell yeah.
And he never responded, so I don't know if he got fucking scared. He gets bad anxiety as well.
You know,
I hope he didn't. I told him, I'm like, smoke a blunt, let's get on this shit, man.
Well, so would you say, like, coming home after everything, like, that was hard to adjust back to, like, everyday normal life?
Yes. So I had it down to like a time frame where I knew it took me about 2.5 months, 2 to 2.5 months to kind of get back to normal sleeping habits, being in places, acting normal, speaking normal.
How hard was it for you when you say, like, acting normal, being normal?
How hard was it?
Yeah, like, to blanket everything, you know what I mean?
I drank a lot during this time.
Okay.
Honestly, like, and it's weird, like, I don't consider myself having a drinking problem because it never affected me the way that, opioids did. It never got to that point. Like, I wasn't out there fucking fiending for a drink. I wasn't out there, getting the shakes. I wasn't waking up like that. You wake up with a fucking hangover, but, and then it's gone after a while, and then that's it. But I never felt I needed to. Like, I never drank before work. Fuck no. Hell no.
Right.
Going to drink before. But I've drank till about 3, 4 in the morning, and then had to get up to go PT at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then go run that shit out.
Ooh.
and then throw it all up and sweat it all out.
Yep.
and
And they don't give a fuck about you. But on the inside, you're like, please feel sorry for me.
In my head, no, I mean, you're used to that shit because they fucking run all the time. So you're used to having people throw up or whatever. So what you try to do, try to stay to the back of the formation so you don't get in trouble by your NCOs. So you don't smell that shit coming off you. So you're running and the wind is going back. So you're back, you don't smell.
There's a fucking
I've been back
way.
there running. I've turned around and just keep it going.
I don't
keep
even
it going.
stop.
Fuck it.
I'm just puking.
3 fucking miles, 4
You know, a
fucking
lot
miles.
of
Let's get
those
it.
ultra runners do that too. Like the people who run like 100-milers, like will literally just like puke and not even stop. It's like, bleh, bleh, we here, like we're trucking. But
Yeah. That was back when I was young.
when you were a youngin',
Fuck yeah, that was when I was in my early 20s. I was 19, 20 years old doing this shit, so fuck. I mean, yeah, late teens, early 20s, when my body could fucking handle that shit, and my body can't handle that shit now.
no.
Like right now, I'm drinking a few beers. When I get home, I have to pound water. I have to take a couple of times before I go to sleep, take a couple of Tylenol, probably an ibuprofen, and then I wake up and I have a Gatorade ready for me when I wake up. I'll feel golden the next morning.
That's my dad's method too.
Hey, you got to hydrate yourself. You got to fucking take a painkiller.
Take care of the headache.
Over-the-counter painkiller. There you go. And then, inflammation, anti-inflammatory.
No.
Yeah, it didn't affect me the same way at all.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
It wasn't a dependency.
Yeah. So, like, to anyone who may be listening who doesn't fully understand, like, what would you say to them? That being said, like, if they would say to you, God damn it, Alicia, I'm just going in circles, but
No, go ahead.
that it might be a trigger. Like, I guess, like, why isn't it a trigger to you? Because it wasn't like...
It's not familiar because while I was in my opioid addiction, I never drank. Like, I've never drank. Fucking 10 years. I would have a glass of wine maybe once every 3 months, 4 months, and that was it. And I'd pretty much have to force myself to drink it just to be social, right? But that wasn't my drug of choice. I didn't want that. My brain wanted the fucking opioids. You know what I mean? So everything, like I'm telling you, when this shit pushed everything out of my life, it pushed everything out. It pushed alcohol out. It pushed the only thing it didn't push out was smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if anything, I think it increased my smoking. But
Probably.
yeah, just fucking on pills all day and smoking cigarettes, and I wouldn't eat, so I was looking all fucking cracked out and shit. So yeah, it was bad, so
That was the only substance that mattered.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything else, it was just that it was just to be social. Now I did enjoy shrooms though.
Well, that's different.
I do remember my
It has
experience
been
on shrooms.
scientifically proven that psychotropic drugs are non-addictive. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, there's some who will argue, well, if you do it too much, you literally will get burnt the fuck out. Like, that's absolutely true. Like, I've known some people through raving who have fucking tripped on acid or mushrooms like over 300 times. You know what I mean? And they just vibe at a different frequency, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
you can just tell that they've done a lot of acid, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
So you could do that, but I mean, like, it's non-addictive. Like, mushrooms are natural, just like marijuana is. And mushrooms, I said this on one of our very, very first episodes. I'm good on that. I would recommend at least microdosing on mushrooms. You could buy them in veggie capsules even, at least once in your life, because it almost brings you back to like this childlike state of mind of wonder. You know what I mean? Like, even on microdosing, because I've talked to some people about this and they're like, well, I don't want to trip on mushrooms because that sounds terrifying.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
even with microdosing, you really don't get to that point where you're tripping, but
Nope.
you do get
You
to
feel
the point.
happy.
Yeah, you get to
You
that
feel
point where
lighter.
you're able to kind of view the world differently and absorb information differently.
Yeah.
You know,
Everything's brighter.
Yeah, to the point where it's not gonna get you angry immediately. You know, you can actually sit there and process the information and enjoy it, enjoy the life, you know, and enjoy. But you're
Very
still
good for meditation.
You're still able to function though. You're still able to, and focusing as well. Like one of my buddies, he does it. He's like, bro, when I do this shit, and he was like, I've been doing it for about 2 weeks now. He's like, I had a goal that I was trying to achieve, and I'm like, I don't want to say his specific goal, but he was like, bro, I've never been more focused in my life. Like shit's happening.
Right.
He was like, I thought it was gonna take me about 1.5 years to happen. He's like, I'm getting it done in 3 months. He's like, it's crazy. Like my whole mind, like I was able to shift, and you know, I can visualize my goal, and I can visualize myself achieving that goal. And just like I was saying, every day make some kind of progress. Don't just put it off and then forget about it. Hold on to that. If that goal is serious for you to have, you're gonna hold on to it. And every day make one. Just it could be small and minute, or it could be grand. It doesn't matter. As long as you make one step, one small step towards that goal, you will achieve it eventually. You know, like you will get there.
It's all about just like consistency too. You know what I mean? Like waking up and just like setting a small goal. It doesn't have to be big. Like
Exactly.
I mean, what did you say in the beginning? Like as long as you go into the day like achieving to do something better than the day before, something like that.
Oh yeah. Just doing something like every day, just making some kind of progress. You know, every day just moving towards that goal. Yeah. And this is for you can have daily goals, you can have weekly goals, monthly goals, you can have your short-term goals, you can have your long-term goals. You know, and you could just every day just work towards each one of them, and it helps with people with addiction. Like that, there's this thing called it's a SMART goals plan, right? And you literally break down your goals and how to achieve them, and you pretty much set a schedule to live by, right? And every day you can check in on this, or you can set yourself to check in every other day, or twice
Just hold
a week,
yourself
whatever.
accountable.
Yeah, and it's just and it's crazy because when you start doing this shit, it takes your mind away from constantly thinking about whatever your drug of choice was, you know, constantly thinking about getting back to that. Now you're focusing on something else. You're filling your time up with something. You don't have time for the other shit. You know what I mean? And before you know it, you don't even need it, like mentally or physically, and it's just gone. You know what I mean?
That's amazing.
And but like, you have to maintain that shit though. You know what I mean? Like I was telling you with meditation, you know, things like that, keeping busy. Don't sit around for too long and stay static. You know, you got to keep doing something, keep your body moving. Like I started going to the gym and shit, and that's part of my schedule now. You know, I'm filling up. I don't leave my time room to do anything fucking stupid. Like I really don't. So
But it's like setting a routine for yourself.
Yes, exactly. You set your boundaries as well. You know, people who you were associated with that still living that lifestyle, you know what? It sucks to say it, but fuck them. You know, you got to cut them out. You know, you got to cut them out of your life. If they haven't helped you before, they're not going to help you now. So you got to remove those people from your life. It's okay to love people from a distance, especially if they're family. You know, you can love them from a distance. You know, so if you're used to using drugs with family, you know, but you're like, yo, they're family. You know what? Set your boundaries. It's up to you how strict you want to be with them. If you're not going to fucking take it seriously, then you're going to fall right back into the same shit.
Right.
Also, change up your daily routine. Don't fall into the same patterns that you used to do before. Don't fall into familiar habits.
Right.
You got to change everything.
Because those patterns before obviously weren't working.
Yes, exactly.
So it's kind of like, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Yes.
I don't know. Addiction is so hard. I mean, and it's so many people out struggle with cutting off those people who may enable or may also use, you know what I mean? So like, what would you say to anyone listening who has a hard time stepping back or even severing that relationship?
You gotta really understand it took me a while. I was thinking about it, and addiction it's not the drug of choice that's the problem. Addiction is your every addict is addicted to comfort. That's the main drug. It's comfort. Everything is comfort seeking behavior. Doesn't matter what you're running from, what you're trying to seek comfort from, whether it's mental pain, physical pain,
Coping
whatever.
mechanism.
Exactly. It's all comes down to comfort. And you just got to learn to be uncomfortable and actually enjoy being comfortable, being uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's life, you know. Once you can accept that, you start viewing shit viewing shit so differently. Like every lesson it doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. The negative lessons especially, they're so invaluable. You can't put a price on them because you change as a person when you make it through it and you become stronger, you know what I mean? You can't buy that shit, you know what I mean? Like not everybody can go through that and become the person that's on the other side.
Right.
You know, not everybody knows what that shit feels like, you know?
Absolutely. Well, and it's not even with addiction, you know, I feel like so many people get caught up in the hustle, right? Trying to make it, especially nowadays. Like you get so caught up with work, family, you know, how often do you take a step back and like really look at the big picture and ask yourself like, who the fuck am I? You know what I mean? And it's really hard to hold yourself accountable. It's really hard to look inward, and that takes work. So, I mean, absolutely to what you were saying earlier, like, obviously, people listening to this, like, if you're not ready to be, like, sober for yourself, like, obviously, you'll easily fall back into old patterns. Mm-hmm. But in your phase in life, like, you've really... And I was telling you this earlier outside. I was like, dude, I'm so fucking proud of you because you've literally just like been able to look at yourself in the mirror and do that fucking hard work. You know what I mean? It's a struggle for so many people. And I know through therapy and having a great support system in your wife and your kids,
my parents, my family, my sisters, everybody, my whole family.
But most of all, underlying is yourself. Mm-hmm. You are fucking supporting yourself. Mm-hmm. And I think when you are finally ready to like take that milestone step and like finally hold yourself accountable, that's when you can really see success.
Yes.
Because absolutely, nobody likes to look in the mirror. You know what I mean? Take addiction out of it. Everybody's got their fucking shit. Mm-hmm. Everybody struggles. And, you know, like, not everyone is as open and, like, loud about it like I am, you know, but, like, everybody's got their fucking struggles. And
you also got to realize you can't live in the past, you know, like, there's mistakes that have been made that you can't go back and change. You know, all you can do is maybe ask for forgiveness, you know, if possible, but besides that, there's nothing you can do. So you got to let a lot of hurt, a lot of guilt, a lot of trauma. You got to let that shit go. You know, let it go. Process that shit. Think about it. Replay that shit. Write about it.
Absolutely.
Write about it. Read it out loud. You know, and you.
That's so important. I'm so glad you said that. Mm-hmm. Like, even with like manifestations, positive affirmations, you got to say that shit out loud because, like, guys, like, when I say, like, you gotta love yourself like nobody ever has, like, I mean, like, you literally have to treat yourself like you're another person sometimes and be like, look, like, I have moments where I'm like, you're being a jackass, and I know it. Like,
the way I say, if you're spiritual at all, like, if you believe you have a soul or if you have a spirit, this is your body, you know, you have to take care of it. And then you can't take care of the people you love if you're fucking breaking down. You know what I mean? So you have to love yourself first. You have to take care of yourself first before you can help other people. Now, with that, what I'm saying with that is that you're no good to anyone else if you're falling apart.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you have to take care of yourself mentally, physically, everything. Take care of yourself, and you'll be great to help other people. Mm-hmm. But as long as you're in the correct mind state, you know. You also got to you got to self-reflect every once in a while. That's why I was talking about meditation. Sit there and be like, yo, what did I do today? Did I do anything to hurt anybody's feelings? Did I do anything to offend anybody? Did I do anything to change anybody's day? Was it positive or negative? Mm-hmm. You know, break down your day at the end of the day. You know, I do it in the morning, like, hey, what I'm going to do today? You know, like, I got these haircuts. Mm-hmm. You know, I'll throw random ass discounts out there for people I know who need it. You know, Sometimes I'll throw a free haircut. I know this person. I know they're struggling, even though they act like they're not, you know, and boom, I'll hit them with one. I'll give them a free haircut. You know, I'll give their kid a free haircut, you know.
And that's a bitchin'
Yeah, and it's not for recognition at all. I won't say shit. I'll tell them like, hey, you know what? Thank you for coming to me for so long. You know, this is your 100th haircut. You know, I'll throw like a random ass shit out there and be like, you know, 100th haircut.
It's Wednesday. Congratulations. You should get a fucking, seriously. But no, that's awesome.
But that shit makes me feel so good as a person inside to be able to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, bet I can do that because I can afford to do that now. You know, like I'm not struggling myself. Now I'm in a better position where I can help other people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I try to stay I try to stay humble with it, you know.
And I think that's super important as well. Like, you have to be gracious.
It feels good. Like, it feels good inside as a person, you know. It makes your spirit feel good, you know. And that's hard to come by sometimes, you know. Like, you feel this world is filled with so much hate and so many hateful people and people divided and all kinds of shit that's going on, like with the politics and with the vaccines and all that shit. Like, I see fucking signs. There's a dude, my dad's neighbor down the block. He has a big ass flag. Fuck Biden. I'm like, why would you, like, that's your home, man. Like, why would you even put that shit in front of your home? Like, that's so tacky. You know what I mean? Like, that's cool. You have your political opinion, but Jesus Christ, you have to put it on blast in front of everybody. Like, like, how much attention do you want? You want somebody to come over here and throw stuff at your house, you know? So it's just very antagonizing.